Duality is a trap. And the dual mindset is also a trap. Having a dual mindset traps you into identifying with the ego. To not identify with the ego is to not have a dual mindset. To have a dual mindset is to identify with the ego, because duality is black and white. There is no gray area, there is no in between. It's this or that. It's either right or it's wrong. It's either good or it's bad. It's either healthy or it's unhealthy. And so when you have a dual mindset and you do something that's considered bad, or you do something that's considered good, you identify with that action. You say, because I did this and it's bad, I am bad. Because I did this and it's unhealthy, I am unhealthy. Mind you, the ego is where all pain and suffering exist. That's where all pain and suffering lies. Until you could detach. And I made a video on detachment. If you've been keeping up with my videos, then you know that is how you vibrate high. Detaching. Vibrating low is attaching. And none of them are good and bad. You use them as a bitch. You use them at your will. But when you identify with the ego and this dualistic mindset of either this or that, then you are attaching to something, the ego. And not only are you attaching to something, but you're attaching yourself to a side. You're choosing a side because it's either this or that. There's no gray area. So you're choosing a side and you're fixating yourself on that side. I am good. I am a good person. And then you're identifying with the actions that you do, right? Because I did this action and it's quote unquote good, I am now a good person and I'm attached to my ego. So yeah, that's me. I'm the one that's doing all these things. And like just hearing it, it's just, wow, you're setting yourself up to go to hell. When you detach, that means you're not attached to anything. You truly are now your original form, which is nothing. Just the observer. Just the silent nothingness in the background, observing and experiencing through all these vessels. So that is one way that the dual mind is a trap and is literally setting you up for hell. All pain and suffering lies within the ego. And the ego belongs to a world of duality. It's dual in nature, but you're not dual in nature. Your soul is not dual in nature. You know how all the businessmen and like, yeah, all the big businessmen that's like successful is like portrayed as like evil or like cold. I've realized that they've just risen above the dual mindset, the good and bad shit, right and wrong, all that shit. Oh, helping people is good and it's only good. Helping people can never be bad. When we'll get there. But they've risen above it. And so to people who still up under it, they're going to be portrayed as cold. In which, when you're detached, which is vibrating high, right, you're going to be seen as cold because you're not attached to anything, nothing in existence that you're attached to, including your own thoughts, including your own emotions. You're literally detached from yourself, like your ego. And people can sense that. And it comes off as like this person is cold. When it's like, no, they're just not lost in their lights. Light as in light and weight. What's light and what's light and weight? Your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, your vibrations. They don't identify with it. They're not attached to it. It also make them come off as inhumane, because what is to be human, right? Hue, right? Color, right? A man that's lost in all their hue, lost in all their colors, lost in all their chakras, lost in all their characteristics, lost in all their lost in their ego. That's what it is to be human. It's to be lost in your fucking ego, lost in your chakras, have no fucking emotional control. That's why I say all the time I'm not fucking human. But yes, these people can come off as very cold and inhumane when it's like, I mean, that's kind of part of the soul evolution. You gotta level up at some point. Believe it or not, that's a fucking level up. On a soul level. Get out of the illusion. Get out of your programming. They've leveled up. They've escaping the dual mindset where all pain and suffering lies. I don't know about you, but those people who's quote unquote cold-hearted and inhumane be the most at peace, bro. They be at peace, bro. They don't be sad. They don't be happy. They be blank. They have a blank fucking expression. They be in internal peace, chilling. Just chilling. Not identifying with no fucking happiness, no fucking sadness. Just chilling. Just experiencing. That's it. Couldn't care less of how you perceive them, because they know the mind that you're in. And they know that the mind that you're in better than you know the mind that you're in, because they've been in that mind, obviously, and they've transcended it. They're on a higher level than you are, spiritually and intellectually. Having a dual mindset and living in a world of duality is a trap, because it lessens your free will. It also lessens your free will. You have less freedom of choice. If I'm living in a world of duality, okay, either this or that, right? It's a world of sides. Which side, right? I'm going to choose this side, okay? And let's say this side is healthy, right? I'm going to be a healthy person, go to the gym, and, do right for myself when it comes to my health. I'm not going to be unhealthy. I'm not going to do drugs. I'm not going to eat fast food every day. Okay? And I'm going to identify as a healthy person. It's going to be part of my identity, and it's going to be a major part of who I am, a gym rat, okay? Let's say you're at a party, and there's nothing but junk food at the party, okay? There's only one thing that's healthy enough for you to consume at the party. Everything else in the party is junk food. Because you are up under the dual mindset, and you picked a side, and you've picked an identity, and you are attached to it, right? You attach yourself to the identity. You see yourself as that. You don't see yourself as the silent nothingness in the background. You see yourself as that. You would very much feel unlike yourself, and you would feel ashamed of yourself if you ate any of the junk food. Even though you want to, right? It's not in alignment with who you are and, the side that you've chosen, right? You feel like it would be a big hit to your dignity and your ego, right? So, because of all of this, pretty much the way that you've constructed your mind, right? You are going to just settle with the only one option that is healthy enough for you to consume. Meanwhile, the non-dual person, right? Because even before we get there, even the other people at the party who's still up under a dual mind but chose the other side, right? I don't care about health. I'm gonna just do me. Like, we only live once. YOLO. Like, if I want to eat pizza, I'm gonna eat pizza. Fuck the gym. I'm too lazy for that shit. I'm not gonna force myself to do nothing. Like, That's mental anguish. Like, call me lazy. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't fuck the gym. Like, I don't care about health, right? They're probably going to neglect the one healthy option and only cater to the junk food because they had already made their mind up. They don't care about health. They're an unhealthy person because you identify yourself with your actions. You identify yourself with your choices, right? You're attached to these things because they construct who you are, the way that you see yourself, right? Your ego, the choices that you make, and you are attached to the ego. You identify with the ego. So it's like, okay, I made the decision, like, I'm an unhealthy person. That's just who I am, and I'm attached to who I am, and like, I only see the unhealthy food. I don't even see the one healthy thing. I hope you guys are able to keep up with what I'm saying. Okay, like, I'm only able to see my perspective. I'm only able to see my programming. And so it's like, oh, I didn't even notice that there was a salad in the corner. Like, because fill in the blanks. You get what I'm saying. So they're only catering to the unhealthy food. The one person, the whoever is not under the dual mindset, they will go to the party and they will see the options and they'll be like, what do I feel like eating today? Or what do I want to try? Or what looks good to me? Oh, is it that healthy thing in the corner? Okay, that looks good. Okay, oh, what's that? That smells really good. What's that right there? Is that pizza? Okay, I'll have both. Not having a dual mindset gives you more free will because you have constructed your mind and programmed your mind in a way to where you don't feel ashamed for having both. You don't beat yourself up for having both. You don't identify as healthy or unhealthy. You didn't pick a side. You're very like you it's living in a world of it is what it is. It's just food. You see that? You see that? How the one who's not under a dual mindset is more disillusioned than the two who is in a dual mindset, because it's not just food to the one who picked the side of health. Oh no, like, yeah, it's just food, but then, well, you're not going to be saying that later down the line when you're 50 years old and you can barely take care of yourself because you're so fucking unhealthy. And then the other person who picked the side of unhealth. Oh yeah, it's just food, but like, I'm not gonna sit here and force myself to eat lettuce when it literally has no taste. Like, I'm going to eat the stuff that's unhealthy because that tastes good and you only live once, and I identify with freedom, and I feel like, and now all these fucking beliefs, right, that you also identify with. Versus the one that's not under any of that and is like, bro, it's literally just food. Like, it's, bro, like, just pick your poison. Like, just it's not that bigger, it's not that deep, it's not that big of a deal. It's always being connected to the bigger picture because you're not in anything. Nothing is clouding your judgment because you're not in anything. And the reason why you're not in anything, because you don't identify with anything, you're not attached to anything, not even yourself, meaning your mind, your ego, your perception, your feelings, your thoughts. There's a distance that you have with even within yourself when you don't have a dual mindset. Now the healthy person who, you know, chose, you know, to be healthy or whatever and identify with being a gym rat and stuff like that, they are smelling all of the good unhealthy food and they want to eat it, but they're like, no, I can't, da 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 da. And it's like, that's a very, 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 very minute example of being in hell in that moment of wanting something that you can't have because of because of the fact that you chose a side. Because you decided to choose a motherfucking side and identify with that side. Now you can't have something that you want. And now you are going through a small representation of hell. You're going through an internal conflict. That's hell. When you have an internal conflict. Oh, I really want to eat the food, but I can't. How's that gonna make me look? I built my whole personality. I'm literally known as the healthy person. If people at this party saw me eating that pizza, you know what they would say? Or they would call me a fraud or all this, that, and the third. Oh, I guess I just have to settle with the one only thing in this party that's healthy enough for me to eat. And I literally didn't eat anything all day today because I knew that there was going to be food at the party. Now I have to be hungry and just settle with this. Tough for you. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. You should have never picked the fucking side. So, having a dual mind lessens your free will in that way. Having a dual mind, duality itself does not acknowledge that there's a black and white, that there's a gray area. When you acknowledge that there's a gray area, you have more options. You have more choices, more freedom of choice. When you recognize that not everything is black and white. Not everything has to be this and only this. And when you accept and integrate with the contradictions of life, the how certain aspects of life doesn't really make sense, the messiness of it, right? The complication, right, of life, how truly complicated life is. When you accept that fully and truly and wholly and realize, like, life has so many contradictions. Life is not black and white. Life does not make complete and total sense. When you accept that, you have more free will. Here's an example. Everyone would agree that cheating is bad. Everyone that's under the dual mindset, that is. Everyone who lives in a world of duality would agree that cheating is bad. And no circumstances should anyone ever cheat. Because cheating is an awful, horrible thing. And it's not acceptable. But, however, what if, let's say, a girl got forced into marriage due to her religion? Her family picked a husband for her and forced her to marry him, and she did not love him. She then met a man that she did fall in love with and loved. And they planned, okay, when I save up enough money and when we have the perfect opportunity, we're going to run away together and totally catch this dude that she's married to off guard. And they go through with the plan. The whole time, throughout that marriage, she's been cheating on that man with someone that she actually loves. And when the perfect opportunity finally came, she abandoned him and ran away with that man. Okay, now you would go and say, oh, well, that's a little different. She was forced into it. She didn't really have a say. She fell in love. You can't help who you fall in love with. All of these justifications all of a sudden, right? But I thought cheating was bad, though. I thought cheating is bad. Oh, but in that circumstance, it's not bad. Okay, so then you just proved my point. That good and bad, black and white, duality, it's ultimately an illusion. It's ultimately an illusion. then you would have to agree with me that cheating is not bad and cheating is not good. Cheating is just an action. It's just an action. That's all it is. Now, let's say this man, right? He comes home from work. He sees all her stuff is gone. He calls her. He can't get any hold of her. He calls his family, her family. They panic. They say, well, we don't know where she is either. And now her mother is worried sick. The husband is heartbroken. No, he's not heartbroken because he doesn't even know that she ran away with another man yet. Okay. He's worried sick. Their family is worried sick. He's worried sick. Mom can't even sleep at night. Her brothers, her sisters are worried, mad sick. She's scaring everyone. She's out somewhere, probably in Dubai, with the love of her life, living her best life. Meanwhile, her whole family's worried about her. Her husband is worried. Finally, the officers get involved, and months later they finally find her, and they find out that, oh, she ran away with some man. The husband is fucking devastated. Fucking devastated. I loved this woman. Not only did I love this woman, but I sacrificed so much to find her because I was so worried about her. I thought something happened to her. I thought maybe she was kidnapped. Only to find out I was wasting time because she was out with another man. That man is fucking heartbroken. How do you think her mother feels? Oh, you couldn't have just told me? I'm worried sick. I can't even sleep at night. I can't even eat. I'm under so much distress while you're living your best life. She looks a bit selfish now, doesn't she? Like she was only thinking about herself, right? You see how it's complicated? Because I bet at first you were rooting for her. Like, yes, girl, run away with that man. But now it's like, ooh, I could only stick up for you for so long. Like, you're being kind of selfish. It's complicated. Right and wrong, who's in the right, who's in the wrong, good and bad, evil, angels, devils. It's fucking complicated. It's not black and white. There's gray areas. Right? And so when you're living in a world of duality, you're constantly trying to figure out, okay, you're trying to put things in their place, in their category. Is she in the wrong? Is she in the right? Was this bad? Was this good? Is this moral? Is this unmoral? Like, and now you're in like a world of confusion, right? That's internal chaos, right? And internal chaos does not feel good. Internal chaos is not heaven, okay? And it's simply because you're trying with your dual mind to categorize everything. And it's not until you fucking realize, bro, it's literally just a fucking story. I'm not any of these characters. Even if I'm the girl who ran away with the man, I'm not her. I'm the observer of her, okay? I'm her observer, bitch. I'm not her, though. Seriously. Everything just is what it just is what it is. It just is what it is. Fuck. It just is what it fucking is. And then you detach. And you're met with a peaceful, silent nothingness. That feels good. When you've been in the dual mindset for so long, it could be painful. It could feel like boredom. But if you stick with it long enough, that's why meditation is so important, right? Because the boredom be killing you when you're first starting out meditating. But if you stick with it long enough, it starts to feel good. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. It's not meant to be understood. Because what's understanding something? It's putting it in a category. It's putting it in a box So you know how to look at it. You know how to view it. You know how to handle it. You know how to regard it, right? Based on the name and title and whatever box that you've placed it in. But when you take out the fucking boxes, stop trying to square out the circle, right? And just let shit be. It just is what it fucking is. And don't identify with any of it. And just experience it. Okay, now you are embodying the observer. Now you are finding your peace. Now you are escaping duality. Not having a dual mind is simply just acknowledging life is one big contradiction that doesn't make any sense, and it's not meant to make sense. It's not meant to figure out. It's not meant to categorize. It's not meant to put in a box. It's ultimately, you can put it in a box and categorize it, but just know that when you do that, you are now living in a fucking illusion. Because cheating is bad. But when put in a certain context, it's not bad anymore. Is it bad or is it not, bitch? Is cheating bad or not? Like, okay. Cheating is just an action. That's all it is. It's just an action. And you can apply this to absolutely everything else in your life. If you really want to level the fuck up, all of the things that you see as bad. Look at me taking y'all with me. Look at me taking y'all with me. I love that though. Seriously. Make a list of all the shit that you look at as bad. And use my example. Okay, I look at this as bad, and I would feel really guilty if I did this, but think of an example in your head of where that action wouldn't be bad. Just to further, penetrate into your mind that good and bad is an illusion. Right and wrong is an illusion. I just embrace that life is complicated. Is cheating good? Is cheating bad? It's complicated. Just like that. Just it's complicated. Is leading someone on? Is it good? Is it bad? It's complicated. Like it's complicated. Like literally, like oh my gosh, it's just funner, in my opinion. And I feel like you would agree once you step into this mindset, outside of the dual mindset. It's complicated. And you just have so much more free will, so much more freedom of choice. Because you don't identify with anything, with any of it. That concludes this video. Duality is a trap. And I believe that the human consciousness is headed towards a world of non-duality. Slowly but surely, we're gonna get there. Yeah. Rewatch this video if you need to. Make that list if you need to of all the things that you see as bad or wrong or whatever the fuck. To really program and penetrate your mind that it just is what it is ultimately. Okay? Alright, guys. Thank you. Bye.